The second deadliest cancer in Canada can be a sensitive subject for patients, but it doesn't have to be with proper screening and monitoring. March is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. I'm joined now in the studio by Tom Lovatt. He's a 12-year survivor of colon cancer. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So what were the signs? Something was amiss with you.
Very healthy in every other aspect except there was a presence of blood when I used the bathroom. So there's blood in the stool.
And is it true that you ignored it for a while?
Quite a while. I went to a doctor who didn't really believe that at my age, which was 47 at the time, that there was anything to worry about. He did send me off with this little test that you take home, which I ignored. And another month went by, I guess. I went down to Florida. I traveled quite a bit. And it just getting worse. It was getting worse. It got to the point where I needed a fiber supplement to function normally throughout the day. And then I went back and he said, well, maybe you do have a problem. So. And
you ended up having something called a sigmoidoscopy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, as opposed to a colonoscopy. What's the difference and what did it show?
The difference for me, and I'll tell you exactly what happened with me because I'm not in a position to give medical advice, but a sigmoidoscopy, what they told me, is when it goes part way up your colon to the sigmoid. And that's a very small portion of your colon. And at that location, he found a cancerous tumor. A colonoscopy is from one end right to the other. And then they go in, and then they come back. They take a really good look.
And I understand that you actually saw the tumor because you were conscious during the procedure.
Yes, that's right. I chose to do that. I didn't want the sedative. I've still never had a sedative. It's not that big a deal. But I do recall watching this ugly thing on the screen. It was unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, it was just shocking to me, just absolutely shocking.
And so then what happened? How did they get rid of it?
They followed that, like, I didn't want to see the doctor that I was originally seeing. I didn't feel comfortable with him. I did some research. Can I plug Mount Sinai? They were a great hospital. I had it done there. Great staff, and they did an amazing job. But before that, that surgeon there, she sent me for a full colonoscopy. They found 6 more polyps. So I'm really glad that I did make that choice. I'm glad that they found those, and then that followed with surgery. Following that was chemotherapy. It took about a year of my life.
About a year.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when I found out that you were coming in and that you were a survivor, I assumed that you had caught it early, but that wasn't the case with you. You were pretty far along. You must consider yourself so fortunate.
I do. I really am happy to be here. It was stage 3, which means stage 1, I believe, is, well, it's inside the colon, which is just a matter of taking a piece out and putting it back together. Stage 2, I think it hangs on to the wall of the colon. And stage 3 is when it goes through the colon, and then in my case, it infected several lymph nodes. I can't remember how many, but a few lymph nodes. And they can travel through your body and then go to a stage 4, if worst scenario.
You look like the picture of health now. You look fit, you look healthy. How has this changed your life? How have you changed your lifestyle since this?
I changed my eating habits quite a bit. You know, anybody can look great in a tuxedo, but who knows what's going on inside? And that was one of the things that I learned. You know, don't just look after the outside. There's stuff going on inside, stuff that you don't see. And that was my arrogance during that time, that I ignored those things. Young, felt great, looked good, the whole bit. But even at that time, even when I was younger, when I was in my best shape, I probably had polyps developing inside my colon, which are potentially cancerous later on.
Why do you want to talk about this? Why are you so willing to be so open about a subject that is still very uncomfortable for a lot of people?
Yeah, it is. Nobody likes to talk about bowel movements and things like that, but I've lost, I believe, four people that are fairly close to me from colon cancer.
Oh,
and I've met lots of families that have lost people in colon cancer in the last 12 years because it's brought to your attention now. But 4 people that were fairly close to me, and they were all diagnosed before 50, which is the standard. The standard is don't even get checked until you're 50. And these people were all diagnosed before 50, as I was, and I had no history of it in my family. And these are all contributing factors before they'll let you have a colonoscopy. So my point is, you know, I think they should lower the standard to 45. I know it's an expense and so on. But it's important. It's very important to get anybody to get screened, male and female. That doesn't discriminate. At least by the time you're 50. Showing symptoms way before 50.
Okay, Tom Lovatt, I'm so glad you're with us tonight, and I'm sure that your message is resonating with a lot of people this hour.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate it. It was great to be here.
And we want to hear from you on this story or any of the stories that we talk about on Direct. Send us your thoughts to instantfeedback@bellmedia.ca, and we'll share one of your letters at the end of the program. Still ahead, tasty, locally grown meals at the hospital. We'll take a look at one pilot project hoping to satisfy patients' palates next.